So we got ourselves an interesting one today. This is a post in the Neville sub titled Imagination, Memory, and Revision. And let's get into it. It's the intersection of science and manifesting, science and spirituality. And here it is. So Neville frequently says that imagination is the creative force within man or God. He also says that through revision, we can change the effect of past events via changing the memory of that event. Coincidentally, a part of the brain responsible for coordinating both memories and imagination comes from the hippocampus. In terms of brain science, there's no difference between memory and imagination, which is why revision works. And there's an article from Scientific American in here called Where Imagination Lives in Your Brain. Now, Elizabeth Loftus, a psychologist who specializes in memory and false memories, says memory is completely malleable. She says, yes, one little twist in the false memory work that we did is to look at the consequences of having a false memory. If I plant a false memory within you, does it have ripple effects? Does it affect your later thoughts or your later intentions or later behavior? And we've now shown that you can plant a false memory that you got sick eating a particular food. You got sick on pickles or eggs or strawberry ice cream, and you don't want to eat as much of that food. We've planted false memories that you got sick drinking a vodka drink, and you're not as interested in the vodka drink. We've done the opposite, planted a warm, fuzzy memory that you loved a healthy food, asparagus in our study, and people want to eat more asparagus. So if we can control people's nutritional selections and maybe help them live a healthier life, maybe that's not a bad thing to do. And then we have a link to a podcast here that is called Speaking of Psychology. And the episode is called Memory Manipulated. This, to me, is in line with what Neville claims with revision, that it will affect the outcome of the future and that the false memory, or rather the imagined memory, will change events in the 3D. Anyways, very interesting post, and I'll put a link to it in the description so you guys can check it out and check out the article itself. There's a couple comments in here that I'm going to now go over here. So somebody asked, can you even change old memories? And now the OP, or actually this is somebody else that is replying here, says, as someone who has been trained in neuroscience from Harvard, yes, memories are your identity. And that's what we talk about all the time. It's that story that you keep telling yourself. That is your self-concept, the narrative that is going on in your mind. That is where your brain goes when it tries to access who it thinks you are. Exactly. Let me be distinct here, because I think a lot of people within the world of Neville Goddard think that revision is just about changing your perspective on a memory or changing your feelings about it. Neville is a bit more extreme here. You can change the substance of a memory. I've had this happen to me personally several times where people have literally forgotten what happened. So it's not just that you're changing your emotions, which ultimately changes who you are are also changing the material substance of that experience. When you do this, you do not just change the feelings in that moment, your feelings in that moment, you change the person who experienced something completely different. This is very much like the multiverse. And there's another comment here that says, memories don't define our present state, it's the opposite. Our present state chooses, out of unlimited different sets of memories, a set of memories that logically go along with our present state of being. Interesting take. So if you try to change old memories consciously, it'll never work because you're in your present state while trying to delete your past memory, you're also validating its existence. Okay, so instead, focus on your present state and think, how would your present state of being be if a particular event in the past did not happen? Live in that state, be in that state. As you totally start living the state of the old and your being and your subconscious mind accepts it, your particular past memory that now doesn't logically go along with your present state of being will get deleted and be replaced by some other memory. The most amazing thing is that you won't even remember deleting it. You'll feel as if things had always been according to your current state of being. Look at your present state of being. Now look back at all your past memories. Don't they all support where you are right now? Doesn't it feel that it's always been like this? This is an illusion. Hindus call it Maya. This is an attachment to people in the great drama of life, which looks like a sequel, but it isn't. Nothing exists outside the present moment. The present moment's the only reality. Everything else is illusion made up to support it. Okay. So I think they made their point. But then this person replies, you might be right, but revision, as was stated by Neville, is useful because of its domino effect and because it sort of points out directly to some canon events. I think they mean like original storyline. And somebody else replies here saying, I see revision as the best tool developed by Neville to shape our life. You're absolutely right in saying that revision can stop the ill effects from events that have happened. In my first comment, I tried to point the truth that memory is an illusion, but we also need to understand that not all memories can be easily replaced just by trying to focus on something else in our present state. In such case, revision is the perfect tool to stop the psychological effect of our past bad memory and replacing it with a beautiful memory through imagination. Thereafter, it gets easier for us to focus on our desired present state that has no ill effect of that past bad memory. Anyways, somebody else says, yes, both approaches are useful. These are just different opinions, and they are really taking what you want away from this because, yeah, one person saying that on one hand, present moment's all that is, but we live so much in the mind and we're constantly telling these stories to ourselves that why not go and revise the past? I mean, that's what Neville recommends. That's what a lot of people have had success with. And I think that it is perfectly valid to use that in your toolkit for feeling better. If you're really trying to access this present moment, well, the present moment is also defined by the story going on in your mind. So anyways, that can be totally useful. I think for me, I have this guide on how to remove limiting beliefs, and it really does go back to, going and identifying what these beliefs are, because these beliefs are basically stories that you've been affirming so much throughout your life, and a story that you've kept telling yourself so much, that identifying what that is and taking it out and then replacing it with the new story that you want to tell yourself, that to me has been the most effective way at, I think, coming to the outcome that we're all trying to achieve, right? Which is to change that story, change the self-concept. You can use revision. You're free to use whatever you want. That guide that I made is linked down below this video. And like I said, that's been the most effective thing for me. It's a free guide. Feel free to do it. There's exercises in there that go over how to do that exactly and to essentially rewrite the story, rewrite the script, flip the script. But with that being said, very, very interesting, that this is, I know that science backs up a lot of the stuff talked about in the spiritual communities, and this one in particular is very interesting. With that being said, much love as always. Drop me a like, drop me a comment, hit me with the subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video.